situations that you have to face, and that's fine. And I said to her, look, you are wired in a different way than I am, and you have to audit yourself and understand yourself. So there are two ways to grow this lash business. One, we either open a salon in every major city or state if we want to do that, or the way that I said, well, this time around, we're going to do it right. We're going to scale yourself. What does that mean? You can sell courses, certifications, you sell coaching online to other people that want to learn from you. You already have the skill set built for the last couple of years. You have also business experience with the other business. So we're going to scale yourself. So you go vertically, right?
You're listening to the Time Lash Artist Podcast. If you want to jumpstart your lash career, you can also watch Cosme's free lash training at www.fulltimelashartist.com. Let's grow.
So there's no right or wrong. If you love having employees, and I'm that type of guy. Like I love having meetings in front of all the employees and share, and kind of crap and that happened the last month and goals and all that, and then have company meetings. She's wired up differently, and that's fine. You just have to audit yourself and understand yourself what's the best way for you to do it, right? So let's actually dive into some numbers. Lifetime value. This is one formula that you'll have, in my opinion, if you remember this for the rest of your life, doesn't matter what you'll sell, this will apply to any service business. So if we make the numbers easy, $200 for a regular set when somebody comes to get a lash extension. Let's say a refill is $150. And again, you guys are in a really good spot with the recurring service. Now, let me ask you this. I'm curious to see what are the answers. What do you think? Do women need lashes, eyelash extensions? Yes or no? Let me see. So you said, who says no? Raise up if you think women don't need eyelash extensions. So you two think they do? So if the world, so let me rephrase that. If the world ends tomorrow, you live with eyelashes, right? But you wear lashes, right? But once you do take them, once you do get them one time, then you want to keep getting, because you realize, like, oh, damn, I saved so much time, I look so much better and all that, right? Because of that, it puts the service into the luxury service. So it's not a necessity, it's a luxury. So that means you'll have to be really careful when you choose your clientele. People need to afford it, right? I asked this question to Jasmina when she started the salon. I said, well, let's talk about your customer avatar. Who do you think are the people that are going to need lashes? I said, well, chicks on Instagram, 18 to 22. And I said, well, think about how much you charge for one set plus the refill twice a month. Multiply that by, on average, what I've noticed in the last couple of years, people tend to stay about 10 months. It's 8 to 12, but there are different reasons. One, they might move out of state. Two, they might, God forbid, get some type of reaction and they need to take a break. Three, they go down south at the beach, or they take a trip somewhere, and then now they have to take a break because they swam and they swam and they didn't, or they're not supposed to, whatever. So if you do the math, so $200, 150 times 2, so that's $300 a month times 10 months, 3,000 plus the 200 initial, $3,200 a year per client. Let me repeat that. $3,200 per year, one client. As long as you're doing a great job, and you should, they would stick around for 10 months, right? What does that mean? Again, you have to choose properly who's your ideal customer, because they need to afford it. So that means if you do the math, simple math again, $3,200 a year, 32 clients, over 100K business, six-figure business. Can you handle 32 clients? If you do the math, is what, 3 clients a month? Now, of course, not everybody will stay for 10 months. I don't want to create some false expectations. So that's why you need to know, and you have to have a system in place for always be able to create a new set of clients. So the 3 most important hats that you're going to have to wear, it's going to be a marketing hat, a sales hat, and then the lash tech hat. Which one do you think is the most important? I want to hear everybody.
Question skills.
Let's do something else. Who thinks marketing is number 1, the most important? Raise your hand. Who thinks sales? Nobody thinks sales, okay. And I'm assuming that the other 4 of you think that lash tech is the most important. So when I say coffee, what do you think? All right, good example. Is Dunkin' Donuts the best coffee in the world?
It's not popular.
It's one of the most popular. So that means what? Right?
Marketing.
You can be the best in the world at whatever you do, but if nobody knows about it, what's the point? Right? Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to be, obviously you have to be a good lash because if not, people are not coming back. And if people are not coming back, you don't have a business, you just have a product or a service, right? In order to have a legit business, you need to have a growing revenue. Now, sales, the easiest example that I can give you is, especially when it comes to you're always selling. At any point in time, when customers come in, maybe they'll come in for a $50 off classic set. You're gonna have to wear your sales hat to upsell them into volume. They call you when somebody DMs you on Instagram, somebody likes one of your posts, somebody comments. You're selling always. You're not your Instagram account and your Facebook profile and your TikTok account and every other social platform they use. When you become a business owner, those are not your personal profiles anymore. It doesn't matter if you partied last night. It doesn't matter if your dog is sick and you post it. Every interaction with your post become a possible sales opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't post personal stuff because a lot of times people will create a different type of connection when you see that. Let's say if you're a pet owner, a lot of times when my wife posts stories with our dog, she gets more likes than ever before. Why? People love dogs in general, people love pets, right? But you're always selling. So the sales hat never goes away. When you finish a set, at the end, you're gonna sell the new appointment, right? You're always running a promotion. You're always running a promotion, and you always only have 2 to 3 spots available. Doesn't matter if you're just starting out. I don't have only 3 hours a day, so I only have one spot open for today. That's it. Today, I only have 1 spot open. During the week, I only have 2 to 3. You're always running a promotion. We all want stuff, but if your actions don't match your goals, they're just becoming dreams, right? So of course we have to, want the 1% lifestyle, we need to make the 1% action. So my one word, uncomfortable, I learned this from jiu-jitsu coach. Comfortable being uncomfortable. Every time when I get in my comfort zone, nothing good happens. Like just chill and you don't do stuff. It's just typically, now your customers have to be comfortable with you, but then you might feel uncomfortable selling. You might feel uncomfortable promoting. You'll know that that's the time that you have to push even harder to get it. So this is one problem that I even seen Kuzmina do or have when she started offering lash courses. So she said, well, why would someone, no, this happened actually when COVID hit and the salon was shut off. I said to her, look, it's fine. Start a YouTube channel. Let's start a podcast. Now we have time to record and do all these. And she was like, no, but why would someone listen to me? And here's why. She had friends that have been lashing for more than 7-8 years, way more time than her. And they were not doing trainings. So what? You don't compare yourself with somebody else's. You're level 1, it's not somebody else's level 9, right? Somebody might have been doing it for longer than you. So what? You're helping yourself when you got started. And that's exactly what I said to her. You can think about yourself. When you took the first course, I think it was Extreme Lashes or whatever the name of the brand is. I said to her, how many questions you had after the class and you were not able to get your answers? And she said, oh, actually that's right. So make sure you now, when you create the program, offer at least a couple weeks or a couple months of Q&A with your students after they leave your salon. So we're not going to dive into this, depending how much time we're going to have at the end to kind of put together the actual marketing plan itself. But the strategy is going to be the one thing, and this is my bread and butter, teaching you how to get leads, and specifically using 2 most important platforms, which are Instagram and Google. But with that being said, I'm going to pass it to Kuzmina to dive into what you guys actually sign up for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you guys have any questions?
A lot.
A lot of questions? Any type of questions you have. Could be business, could be volume, anything. Feel free to ask. That's why I'm here to help you, okay? Okay, so thank you so much for the introduction.
Sure. Well, you already
So what I'm going to introduce for you today is volume, how to customize the volume fans, how to work with different type of techniques, how to work with American volume, with Russian volume. I know you guys are familiar with classic, right? Working one by one. How many of you has practiced before? Have you been practice classic? Classic. Yeah. Good. Perfect. Now,
It'll take like 2 minutes just to export. For some reason, it's not pulling the actual website.
now let me ask you a few questions because you're already familiar with classic. What is the thickness that you work for classic only? Thin, fragile lashes? Perfect. Now, 0.15 is made only for classic. And you also have a binder that I printed some volume techniques, how you pick the volume, how to customize the volumes. And also you have a notebook that you can take as many notes as you want. Now, this is something that I always recommend to my students too. You're going to have a lot of knowledge from today. You're going to understand everything, but make sure you take notes, because by the time you finish the day, you're going to forget everything. Okay, you have the most important in your binder, how to customize the fans, what is the thickness that you work for, volume, what is the American volume, the Russian volume, but please take as many notes as you can. If there is anything, you can always ask, okay? Now, the technique that we're gonna work for volume is way different than classic. You will never customize a volume fan with 0.15. 0.15 is the thickest thickness. Now, you may see 0.18, 0.20, 0.25. I don't even want to mention this because they're not supposed to be there.
Those are too heavy, right?
They are extremely heavy. If you think about, because you already been practicing classic, right? How thick is the classic when you pick the extensions? It feels very thick. Now, keep in mind, it depends on the brand. Every brand is different. For example, my brand, they are very thin. You can even work with 0.15 picking 2 lashes because they are thinner than the rest of the brands. I customize my limit lashes based on what I like and based on what my clients like, right? Now, if you buy, let's say, different type of brands like Lash Maker or different type of brands, they probably be way double and thicker than my brand.
If you got a passion for lashes, let me see it. It's time to level up. If you need me to, I'll teach you my 6-figure secret. Better believe it, 'cause I believe in you. You're listening to the Time Lash Artist Podcast. If you want to jumpstart your lash career, you can also watch Cosme's free lash training at www.fulltimelashartist.com. Let's grow.